Without a strategy, the organization is like a ship without a radar going around in a circle. Management job is not to see the company as it is, but as it can become. A strategy is a commitment to undertake one set of actions rather than another. Hello, this is Mark Guillermo, reporting for Strategic Management.
This presentation was drafted by in the presentation available in the website, a management book by Heath, Black, and Porter.
Our learning objectives are: define strategy, explain the role of environmental analysis in a strategy formulation, explain the strategic planning process, utilize strategic planning tools such as the product life cycle model, portfolio matrix, and SWOT analysis. Describe the strategy implementation tools such as the 7S model. Describe the differences between intended and emergent strategies.
As defined in my video introduction, the learning objectives are shown in the screen.
What is strategic management? Strategic management is the art of managing employees in a way that maximizes the potential of achieving your business objectives. The business world is full of words and phrases that look good on paper but have little meaning for people in the trenches. Although most people or business owners have heard the phrase strategic management, they have little idea what it actually means. So what's the deal? Is strategic management worthwhile, or it is just hot air? Without a doubt, strategic management is one of the most overused and misunderstood catchphrases in business. However, if used effectively, it can have a positive impact on your bottom line and significantly improve your company's growth potential. As its name suggests, strategic management is all about formulating strategies, and the key to making it work for your business is to focus your strategic efforts in the right areas and then manage the organization to achieve the defined strategies. Strategic management can also be defined as the identification of the purpose of the organization and plans and actions to achieve the purpose. It is the set of managerial decisions and actions that determine the long-term performance of a business enterprise. It involves formulating and implementing strategies that will help in aligning the organization and its environment to achieve organizational goals. Strategic management is a field that deals with the major intended and emergent initiatives taken by general managers on behalf of owners, involving utilization of resources to enhance the performance of firms in their external environments. It entails specifying the organization's mission, vision, and objectives, developing policies and plans, often in terms of projects and programs, which are designed to achieve these objectives, and then allocating resources to implement the policies and plans, projects, and programs. A balanced scorecard is often used to evaluate the overall performance of the business and its progress towards objectives. Recent studies and leading management theories have advocated that strategy needs to start with stakeholders' expectation and use a modified balanced scorecard which includes all stakeholders. Strategic management can also be defined as the identification of the purpose of the organization and plans and actions to achieve the purpose. It is the set of managerial decisions and actions that determine the long-term performance of a business enterprise. It involves formulating and implementing strategies that will help in aligning the organization and its environment to achieve organizational goals. Strategic management includes not only the management team, but can also include the board of directors and other stakeholders of the organization. It depends on the organizational structure. Strategic management is an ongoing process that evaluates and controls the business and the industries in which the company is involved, assesses its competitors, and set goals and strategies to meet all existing and potential competitors, and then reassesses each strategy annually or quarterly to determine how it has been implemented and whether it has succeeded or needs replacement by new strategy to meet changed circumstances, new technology, new competitors, a new economic environment, or a new social, financial, or political environment.
In this slide, we are going to define the competitive advantage. Competitive advantage, it is the ability of a firm to win consistently over the long term in a competitive situation. Competitive advantage is created through the achievement of 5 qualities, and those qualities are superiority, inimitability, durability, non-substitutability, and lastly, appropriability. We will define them all. To be among the best, management hub must have a superior qualities by asking ourselves, are you significantly better than your competitors? And listing down the things which giving advantage to other competitors. The second qualities is inimitability, where managers must create barriers that make it hard for others to copy their superiority advantages. Culture, product design, marketing strategy shall never be copied by competitors. The third is durability, wherein the term long-lasting applies and attached to the qualities. Protected patents, copyrights, and brand names will definitely gives lead for competitive advantage. Non-substitutability is the fourth one. Non-substitutability means alternatives. When customers' needs that we fulfilled can be driven by alternative means. Examples are the prestigious encyclopedia in the late 90s and information technology which is started on year 2000, or movie theater entertainment versus concert band entertainment. Lastly is appropriability. Target profits exceeds the quotas, giving supernormal returns with wide marginal profits.
Once a strategy has been identified, it must be then put into practice. The implementation of a strategy is of great importance. Conducting a corporate strategy is worthless as long as it is not implemented correctly by each department of the organization. This may involve organizing, resourcing, and utilizing change management procedures. We have general approaches. In general terms, there are two main approaches, which are opposite but complement each other in some ways to strategic management. The industrial organizational approach, in which, based on economic theory, deals with issues like competitive rivalry, resource allocation, economies of scale, and also assumptions, rationality, self-discipline, behavior, and profit maximization. The sociological approach deals primarily with human interactions, assumptions-bounded rationality, satisfying behavior, profit suboptimality. An example of a company that currently operates this way is Google. The stakeholder-focused approach is an example of this modern approach of strategy.
In this slide, we discuss the setting direction of planning process in which managers must set the organization's general direction and objectives, formulate a specific strategy, plan and carry out the strategy's implementation, monitor results, and make necessary adjustments. The slide shows the strategic management process. The starting point is the strategic intent, defining the organizational mission, analyze environment, and set objectives. In setting the objectives, the requirements and resources were also discussed to develop plans. Strategic planning and feedback is in effect from this stage. Ultimately, once the created plans has been thoroughly developed, it will move to the implementation and monitoring to check the outcomes of the strategy. As we further proceed with the setting direction, we study now the strategic intent. Strategic intent generally defines what the organization wanted to be done and accomplished. To achieve the ultimate wants, general identity, direction, and level of aspirations of the organization must be straightforward. Key objective to inspire the organization and should paint internally a general picture of aspirations and engender a strong emotional response in just a few words. Let us now discuss mission, which is also part in setting direction under strategic management process. Setting direction of the mission. Mission statement articulates the fundamental purpose of the organization. As shown in the screen, the fundamental purposes are concrete: company philosophy, company identity or self-concept, principal products or services, customers and markets, geographic focus, obligations to shareholders, and commitment to employee must also be part of the mission. Everywhere in the world, except in the Middle East, tax applies. One of the topics under the strategic management is its mission with regards to taxation. In the United States of America, it is the IRS, or the Internal Revenue Service, and in the Philippines, it is Bureau of Internal Revenue, or BIR, where the IRS mission is to provide America's taxpayers top quality service by helping them understand and meet their tax responsibilities, and by applying the tax law with integrity and fairness to all. Still part of the management process is the strategic objectives. It translates the strategic intent and mission of the firm into concrete and measurable goals. In this process, the firm facilitates its ability to allocate resources appropriately, reach a shared understanding of priorities, delegate responsibilities, and hold people accountable for results. The process also involves strategic objectives. In this process, it will address so many issues such as revenue growth, profitability, customer satisfaction, market share, financial returns, it is return on equity, return on assets, and also technological leadership, cash flow, operating efficiency, like cost per unit, expense per employee. We are now going to discuss formulating strategy. The first one is the competitive strategy. This strategy determines how company is going to compete and achieve its strategic objectives, mission, and ultimate strategic intent. This strategy applies some approach like generic strategies, techniques, and tools. Under generic strategies, it involves cost leadership, differentiation, which will be discussed further in organizational design and structure, and identifying the scope. As seen in the slide, the example of generic strategies over scope. Have you noticed the differences of the example? Under the scope of general, for cost leadership, example is Walmart, command industry average prices but costs are significantly below the industry average. While the example Sony, command premium prices and whose costs are industry average. Notice the word costs are significantly below in the industry in cost leadership, while in differentiation, the premium prices are the industry average. Scope in focus example is Columbia Sports. For cost leadership, the average prices and below average cost that focuses on segment of customers or specific geography. While differentiation, example is Morgan Motors, it has average cost but commanding premium prices that focuses on the high end and customers in general or specific geography. Notice the word below average cost in cost leadership while commanding premium prices in differentiation. In formulating a strategy, there will be an internal and external analysis, tools and concepts, wherein environmental analysis and organizational analysis will take place. In environmental analysis, the value of preposition were analyzed, and in organizational analysis, the value chain, 5 primary activities, and 4 support activities were considered. How do we leverage the value chain? First is we determine the value chain where we have add greatest value and see the important linkages and do adjustments in segment business activities. Part of the formulating strategy is to recognize and exploit internal strengths of the company, which is a resource-based approach. In this slide, we will be able to determine the factors of core competencies. Core competencies are interrelated sets of activities that deliver competitive advantages in the short term and long term. It is also to provide access to a variety of markets. Core competencies significantly contribute to perceived customer benefits of the end products or services. And core competencies are difficult for competitors to imitate. Product life cycle is focused on its value, starting from the beginning till its span. Integrating internal and external analysis is a big factor to consider. The graph should show the investment and sales for a particular time, when and where it is high or low. Moreover, in distinguishing external analysis, a great consideration must take place, where potential life cycle might vanish somewhere in time and which place where it is in best shape. In this slide, we can view that the actual life cycle in country A and B is in great form, while in C, sale is in narrow form and so are country D. A great consideration should also be measured in doing external analysis, where we have to ratio market attractiveness to relative market share. It is a great task to determine what is in high and low with the market. We are now in the SWOT analysis. SWOT analysis, alternately SLOT analysis, is a strategic planning method used to evaluate the strengths, weaknesses, limitations, opportunities, and threats involved in a project or in a business venture. It involves specifying the objective of a business venture or project and identifying the internal and external factors that are favorable and unfavorable to achieve the objective. The technique is credited to Albert Humphrey, who led a convention at the Stanford Research Institute, now SRI International, in the 1960s and 1970s using data from Fortune 500 companies. SWOT is divided into two environments: the internal and external environment. Internal environment wherein strengths, weaknesses, tools were core competencies of framework, resource analysis framework, and value chain framework, while in the external environment, opportunities, threats, tools, product life cycle analysis, portfolio analysis, and five forces framework. In strategy implementation, we have to consider the 7S. Let us start with strategy. Plan or course of action should be in this stage, and also allocation of firm's resources to reach goals. Number 2 is the structure. Under this implementation, basic grouping of reporting relationship and activities and linking of separate organizational entities. Number 3 is the shared values. With this strategy implementation, it has a significant meanings or guiding concepts. Number 4 is the system, a formal processes and procedures wherein management control systems, performance measurement, and reward systems, and planning and budgeting systems are in consideration with this strategy implementation. It should always be in mind the ways people to relate them. Number 5 is the skills, the competencies of the organization, and capabilities of those residing in the organization shall be part of strategy implementation. Number 6 is the style, in leadership and operational style of management in a organization, and lastly, reflection of the norms people act upon. Finally, number 7, which is the stop, where under this strategy implementation, the selection process and recruitment is in effect, plus development, socialization, and advancement of people in the organization. That would be the end of my presentation for the strategic management. Please watch out for the next presentation, which will be entitled Organizational Structure and Design. Thank you very much.